Welcome to another interview series of English Winglish. Today on our panel of experts, we have before us Dr. Sharmila Dev, a psychologist, counselor, teacher, educator and a teacher of psychology. Dr. Dev has specialized in clinical psychology from Lucknow University and counseling psychology from Madras University, Chennai. She's been connected with the educational world, spending almost 2.5 decades dedicating involving studying cognitive, emotional and social processes and behavior by observing, interpreting and recording how people relate to one another and to their environment. Ma'am has been involved and associated with one of the most prestigious institutions of Prayagraj. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my guest, Dr. Sharmila Dev, with a big round of virtual applauses. Yeah. So, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Welcome to my channel, ma'am, and it's my pleasure to invite you here on my channel, ma'am. Thank you so much for taking out your precious time and coming on my channel for this virtual conversation. Thank you so much, ma'am.
You're welcome, and it's an honor for me also that you considered me good enough to come here and speak to you. And let's hope we have a productive, interactive session today. All the best to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. The honor is mine. So,
Thank
ma'am, today I've taken the conversation that is the topic actually, that
you.
is the teacher's phase during teaching in the classroom. While they are teaching in the classroom, teachers, they have to face lots of problem during the teaching, period. So, as we know that teaching is very, very challenging, yet a very rewarding, job, career choice, you can say. So, teachers, they are facing lots of uh, common occurrence, like they have to sometimes feel face with slow learners. Sometimes they have to face with remedial classes or huge what you call the syllabus, or the sometimes they have to give the technical information to the students. So there are lots of things the teachers are juggling up with. So, ma'am, here I do believe in one thing, that to be an impressive teacher, actually, you have to go through all these things and find out the solutions. So, ma'am, I will pick up your brain on many things and we will deep dive on into this conversation. So, first of all, ma'am, as we know that psychology has been your genre. So, my first question, it will be based on psychology, ma'am. So, as we know, the psychologists, they have been trying to study teaching for a decades, and all that research has stumbled on a few true and tried method for improving teaching. But actually, ma'am, when we talk about psychology, a lots of things, we think that is, psychology means to kind of mental illness, a kind of what you call a kind of therapy or counseling. But actually, psychology has a vast field. A lot of things are there, included in psychology. And one of the popular scope of psychology, that is of educational psychology. So, mom,
Yes.
I just want to know, what is this educational psychology and how does it help the learner? This
Oh,
is my
that's
first.
a yes. That's a very pertinent and a very good question. Because first of all, I would just like to expand on the word psychology. It is actually derived from two words, Greek words, psyche and logos, as we all know as students of psychology, which literally means the science of the soul. But it has been seen again and again with revisions of this notion of psychology that scientifically we can call psychology as a science of behavior, right? So basically, we study behavior. As a psychologist, we study behavior as it is, right? We don't decide whether the behavior is correct behavior or should have been done or not should have been done. That kind of question doesn't arise with a psychologist, the psychologist takes up any behavior and tries to understand now why this kind of behavior has happened, right?
Okay.
So, psychology found a lot of scope in human behavior, and it has been trying to study human behavior from all aspects. Now, it will be difficult for anyone to imagine any aspect of human life where behavior doesn't come into the picture. Behavior is everywhere, and so behavior is also in education. So, all the various principles, theories, laws, whatever has been put forward by different psychologists over the years has been applied to the field of psychology, means we study the behavior of students in the classroom situation. We study how learning takes place in educational psychology in the teaching learning process. The classroom situation actually is a process which involves an interaction between the teacher and the students. So, there again, we interaction itself means behavior. It means the teacher's behavior, the student's behavior, and how they are responding to each other. So, this is how psychology became very, very important and essential in the field of education, since we are trying to understand students, trying to make education better, easier, effective for students, right? So, I mean, every teacher knows that they go through the B.Ed course, the M.Ed course, and then they specialize also. But all of them had to study one paper, educational psychology. So
Yes.
you and I, as teachers, also went through it. And uh, in educational psychology, we try to understand a child. We try to understand the personality of the child, how the child learns, as I told you just now, how the child memorizes, what steps can be taken to ensure that the child is learning effectively and retaining the learning. Moreover, we also study the problems that a child may face in certain situations, in the classroom situation, various kinds of problems. And not only is the focus on students, the focus is also on teachers. What methods the teacher can use to make the teaching more effective? What better ways? What help? We call it technically uh, teaching aids. All right, you must have heard of the term teaching aid.
Yeah.
So, what kind of aids, teaching aids, can the teacher make use of to make the teaching learning session more productive, more interactive, and more effective? So, psychology studies all these various methods. Educational psychology also has a lot in the making of the curriculum for children. By curriculum, uh, we know that it is all the activities that the child goes through in a particular stage of education, whether it is academic or whether it is co-curricular activities. So the purpose is to form the curriculum is to bring about a holistic growth in the child, by which I mean an all-round growth of the child. So, psychology tries to understand how the curriculum should be made for a particular stage, like if it is for the early childhood stage, children ranging between, say, 2 to 7 years, what it should be, then between the later childhood, 7 to 11 years, what it should be, and then beyond 11 years and beyond. So, these things come into consideration under the purview of uh, curriculum construction, which is under educational psychology. So,
Okay.
no aspect of education is left untouched by the study of psychology.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you
Hmm.
so much. So the
Yeah.
bottom line is educational psychology. It helps the teacher actually to guide the student, to help them channelize their abilities in different direction.
Right.
And one of the most thing is to know the nature of the students, to nurture
Yes.
them, to
Yes.
take them to the different direction where they want to go.
That's right.
uh, Okay, thank you, ma'am. So my second
Uh,
question is coming to the same kind of problem, that is of slow learning in the classroom. Actually, the
hmm
teachers, they face this problem very much, and this is one of the major problems in the classroom. While teacher is teaching in a nominal speed, but the slow learner, they are having difficulties in understanding what the teacher is teaching in the classroom. They cannot go up with the teacher. So teachers teaching, and the students are not grasping what the teacher want to teach, want to present. So
hmm
in one go they cannot understand, they have to go through quite a few time to understand the thing that what the teacher is telling to them.
Yes.
And the
Yes.
reason being, ma'am, that in a common classroom we have different kind of students, like normal, below normal, average student, bright student. So it's become a kind of challenging job for a teacher to adjust, all those students in a given 35 to 40 minutes to handle with the slow learner. So, ma'am, my question is that how to deal with the slow learners. Is there any different curriculum for them, or some kind of co-curricular activities which they have to teach, or what kind of things, ma'am? I just wanna to just to know about it.
Yes. Yes. The problem of slow learners, as you have said, is faced by every teacher. And you have rightly said that a class is made up of average students, more than average, and below average. And some of these students become slow learners because they find it difficult to grasp what the teacher is trying to say. So every teacher has to deal with such problems. So in the regular classroom situation, the teacher is first of all trying to complete the course, what she has prepared for her lesson plan for that particular period. So teachers mind is always busy with that I have to complete, finish this. But then the problem, as you said, of the slow learners. So within the classroom situation, once a teacher completes explaining the concept, and she has ensured that at least the average child and the more than average child has understood, then for the benefit of the slow learners, she can involve these students who have really understood the concept to explain again, once again. So you find that if the explanation is coming from their own age group, sometimes the understanding is better. It happens like if it is from their own age group that another child is trying to explain the same thing,
Exactly.
maybe the understanding is better. So that is one of the ways. Then the teacher can set some activities for the ones who have understood, the average and the above average learners, get them to do some exercises which they are busy with, and then the teacher can call the slow learners to the table or go to their table where they are sitting and try to help them through the same thing again. So that is one way of dealing with such learners in the classroom. But then you have to prepare yourself well in advance with regard to the time. We know it's a 40 minutes, 45 minutes period.
Exactly.
So, yes. So, technically, 10 minutes of the time is set aside for application work. That means the children are given some work to do. So, teacher can utilize that time. Secondly, the teacher can also call the students again after the class with the permission of the school principal authorities, and then help the child once again. Or just say, as the school is giving over, 10 minutes after school to help those children once again, because the slow learners really do benefit if the same matter is repeated in different ways. Or one another suggestion that has come from your side is to involve them in activities. So this is where technology is of great help. So if in case you have any question on technology, the role of
So I have,
technology,
ma'am.
yes. So I
I
think
have,
then
I have.
yeah, I think then we can talk about how technology can also benefit
Yeah,
some
I'm coming to
children.
that question, ma'am.
Right. Huh.
Ma'am, actually, I have a question regarding this, this educational system. I'm rather confused, you can say, regarding this educational system. That, what happened that when we give some kind of statement, like some general remark or some kind of statement we give to the student, like he or she is slow learner, slow
Hmm.
academic learner. Okay. So when we meet their parents, those slow learners parents, they say that their children are very sharp minded, they are very quick to understand, they are very prompt in action, and only a little bit rigid. So, and we see, ma'am, this 25th century children are very smart in dealing with most sophisticated electronic gadgets,
That's
but
true.
only when the time comes for them to do their homework or to do their classwork, they don't do it. And this kind of incompleteness leads them to become a kind of slow academic learner. So,
Mhm.
ma'am, actually, this kind of the tag which we put on them, like the exam oriented, examination oriented, the test which happen on them, where they get sometimes good marks or sometimes poor marks. It cannot, we cannot put a kind of tag on them on basis of that they are slow
Yes.
learner or they are academically weak, ma'am. We have to think about it
Yes.
when we
Yes.
put this
Yes.
kind of tag on them, because they
Mm.
are very very sharp minded in other field of life. So that is
Mhm.
why if we watch the student from the very beginning, I think we have to think twice after before giving them this kind of tag that they are slow learner and all.
Mhm.
So are you agree on this point, ma'am,
Yeah,
that we
yes, I definitely agree with you. This labeling publicly should not be done. This, what
correct,
you said, giving a tag of a slow learner or uh, a silly boy or a stupid boy or an idiot, like this, labeling children and putting them aside is a crime on the part of the teacher. The teacher should
exactly,
never, yes,
exactly.
will never indulge in such things. The teacher should, of course, is a psychologist, every teacher is a psychologist, should try to understand why is this child not showing the amount of learning that he should be showing despite having his capacities and capabilities. Why is that child not showing? So here a kind of a close relationship with the parents helps a lot to understand the child, because both parents and the teachers need to join hands in understanding such children uh, who are not showing their potentials, we may say. So that comes in handy in understanding the child, and accordingly uh, to like change the methods of teaching slightly here and there, maybe the child responds better to
And one more thing, that I think that academically weak student is the product of the society and the system, which include parent, which consist of parents, teachers, school system, everything. Because we fail to make them realize what is teaching, actually, what the
yes.
teacher does. We fail to create that much interest so that they can get into it. We fail to have a kind of observation, a kind of monitor on the child, giving them best education. It is the duty of the teacher as well as of the parents to look after that, why the teacher student is not taking much interest in studies and all. So
Mhm.
to some way or other, it is the responsibility of the society or the teacher or the parents, to make them
Yes.
understand this thing. So,
Yes.
ma'am, coming to my next question, which is also based on this classroom problem, and then I'm coming to this technical question, ma'am.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
technology question. So, the question is like, as we have just talked about these students who are slow learner, as we know that in the classroom there are different students sit. Some are very quick to understand thing, very quick
Mhm.
to grasp the thing, and some are very slow to understand the thing. Some want teacher to go very slow with them, and some want teacher to go very fast because they are able to grasp on everything or grab on everything whatever teacher is teaching to them. So the thing is that, here we find the need of the remedial classes, because those students need a lot of attention, lot of individual attention, a lot of focus from the side of the teacher, give them a kind of repetition in learning, or a kind of so many things are there, so many strategies, so many ways they can handle with the situation. So ma'am, please tell me, what is this remedial class? Because this question was there in my mind from the very beginning. I really want to know about this
Oh, I
remedial.
see. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. This remedial class is a practice. It's a measure to give, basically to give little more attention to those students who require the attention.
Okay.
Now, this since you talked about slow learners, it is not that a slow learner is always because the child has less intelligence. You said they may be very intelligent, but then they may not be responding well. So this problem of slow learners may also be due to the fact that the child may be having some other problem, like physical problem, like the child may not be able to have a proper eyesight. Nobody has realized, parents have not realized, teachers have not realized. So the child is unable to follow. The child may not be able to be hearing properly. That sense organ of the ear may not be functioning properly. Also, the child may be going through certain emotional problems at home, disturbed home circumstances. So there are various reasons for a child being a slow learner. But coming to your question of remedial classes, these are classes taken beyond normal classes. All right. Now, it is with the consent of parents that these extra classes or remedial classes are set up either in the evening or after the school or during long vacations. Then some students are advised by the school authorities to come for classes where the teacher again makes an effort to teach the same lessons to the child once again. The pace is slow because now the question of completing the syllabus, the question of catering to the other students of the class is not there. Fewer in number also. Sometimes large number of students prevents a teacher from paying attention to some students, to all the students. So here, remedial classes benefits the child, and the child is able to make up, and then once he progresses, then he can show the result later on. So
Thank you
this
so
is
much.
the purpose.
Okay,
Yeah,
ma'am.
yeah.
So
Mm.
coming to my last question, ma'am, this is going to be my last question, because seeing the time and all, ma'am,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
one thing that I really want to know, that is, as we know that psychology, education, and technology, these are in a kind of circular relationship, as we know, and scientific technology has led to the development of science and technology, and then this science and technology has impacted the whole educational world, the whole process of learning, the whole way of teaching, everything. Like before the advent of this science and technology, teacher used to they use pen, paper, and then what you call blackboard. So many things were there for transmitting education. But
Mm.
after this the educational technology, I mean mostly I talk about the computer IT technology, that education has it has taken different shape. Like in the pandemic time, we see that this education, it has took a paradigm shift in the way of education. Like this technology has taken a paradigm shift in the field of education. So ma'am, just want to know that how technology has impacted the educational world.
Greatly. It has impacted greatly, as you said, especially during the pandemic time. It has really taken over the traditional kind of teaching. It has. So we have started using technology a lot. And like during the online classes that we were conducting, I used to find it so easy to share slides and different videos with the students while I was teaching them something. So I used to find it very easy. And in many schools, even in India, the smart classes had already started before the pandemic came in. The concept of smart classes were there, and the schools had the computers in the class, the board, special board in the class, and many of the teaching could be taken, like done, not only through showing of videos and showing of slides, but also with interactive games, which are available now on everywhere. On Google, it is there. On every topic, you have such beautiful interactive games that children enjoy, and they learn in a playway method. And the learning becomes awesome. It becomes wonderful for the children. So technology has set in, and education now cannot forego or leave behind technology. It is going hand in hand. And as teachers, we had to get familiar with technology, and we
Exactly.
learned.
Even we
It
are
was a
learning
learning
from you.
procedure for us. It was a learning
Exactly.
procedure, and it is fun teaching through
It's fun. Really,
technology.
it is fun,
Yes, yes,
like
yes. Ha, ha, ha.
actually, we have the limitation of time, ma'am. I
I
really want to
understand.
invite you again, ma'am. I really want you to come to my channel again, ma'am. It's
I'm
my
sure,
request
sure.
because there are lots of things to know from you, ma'am. So next time I'm having again a kind of conversation where we'll know lots of things. We will deep
Yes,
dive
yes.
into your knowledge, and we'll know a lot of things. I here want to wrap up, ma'am. Thank you so much for coming to my channel, and I'm really, really feeling privileged to invite you here on my
And,
channel.
thank you from my side also. It was really a pleasure to share some of my thoughts and interact with you also. Thank you
Thank you
so
so much.
much.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Good.